Liu Biao, Liu Qi, and Liu Cong. Liu Biao was a military general and politician who was also a member of the extended family of the emperors of the Han dynasty. His ancestor was Liu Yu, the fifth son of Emperor Jing, who ruled over Han in the year 157 BC. Born in the year 142 AD in Xiangyang Commandery, Liu Biao is described as being handsome and tall, measuring at 5'9". At the age of 42, in the year 184 when the Yellow Turban Rebellion broke out, Liu Biao already held the title of governorship over Jing Province. Nanyang Commandery's capital was occupied by Zhang Man Cheng, but he was soon put down by rallied local forces. By October of that year, Shu had arrived and combined his forces with Jing's inspector's army. They drove off the rebels with an army of 18,000 men. Years later, shortly after the coalition had ousted Dong Zhuo from the capital, the Yuan brothers both vied for power and formed alliances. Gong Xunzan supported Houhanshu, whilst Liu Biao supported Yuan Shou. Shu then sent his subordinate Sun Jian to attack Liu Biao at Xiangyang, so Liu Biao appointed Wang Rui to command the defense forces. Sun Jian initially outmaneuvered and outfought his enemy, but he was killed in action. After the invading army retreated, Wang Rui braved the odds of survival and travelled to Xiangyang. He pleaded with Liu Biao to return Sun Jian's body to them so they could hold a proper funeral. Liu Biao was so impressed by his sense of righteousness that he agreed. After their victory here, Liu Biao was able to expand his influence and remained a prominent figure in the Han dynasty. Sun Jian's sons Sun Ce and Sun Quan caused Liu Biao trouble to no end as they sought to avenge their father. However, they didn't target Liu Biao himself, instead seeing Wang Rui as the man responsible. During Sun Ce's conquests in Jiangdong, Liu Zhen requested reinforcements from Liu Biao and Wang Rui. Zhu sent his son, Wang Rui, to lead 5,000 men and a fleet of ships to Jiangxia Commandery, but they were defeated. 2 of Liu Biao's officers were killed in action, and many of Wang Rui's family members were captured, along with 2,000 soldiers and 1,000 boats. Following this victory, Sun Ce moved west and defeated Wang Rui again at Shaoxian County in the year 199. Liu Biao's 2 nephews, Liu Pan and Liu Hu, both fought under Wang Rui's leadership. They relied on a naval blockade, but Sun set fire to his ships and crushed the defending army. Many of Liu Biao's soldiers were killed or drowned in the battle, but it's not known if Liu Hu was one of them. And even more of Wang Rui's family members were captured, along with another 6,000 ships. Liu Pan was defeated by Taixi Si, but he survived the battle as he went on to guard Changsha Commandery alongside Guanzhong. Liu Biao's first wife, Lady Chen, gave him 2 sons. Both were born at unknown dates and shared their ancestral home at Gaoping in Shanyang Commandery. Liu Qi was the eldest and was the rightful successor over his younger brother, Liu Cong. Lady Chen died early, so Liu Biao remarried to Lady Tai from the influential Tai clan of Xiangyang. Liu Cong went on to also marry Lady Tai's niece, and so the Tai clan favoured him and wanted him to succeed his father instead. This situation led to a sibling rivalry forming between the 2 brothers. In the novel, they are half-brothers, with Liu Cong being the son of Lady Tai, but historically they were born to the same mother. Liu Biao initially favoured Liu Qi as he resembled him in appearance, but the Tai clan were inclined to support Liu Cong. The clan included the likes of Tai Mao and Zhang Yun, who held a powerful presence in Liu Biao's administration. They would often speak ill of Liu Qi in front of his father, which contributed to him falling out of his favour. An isolated Liu Qi turned to Zhuge Liang for advice on what he should do, but he refused to help him as he was reluctant to become involved in such serious affairs. Liu Qi craftily tricked the sage one day when he visited him at his garden by climbing a ladder and then inviting him up. While they were chatting and feasting away, some of Liu Qi's men came along and removed the ladder. Liu Qi then said, "Now nothing goes up to heaven, and nothing goes down to earth. Whatever you say will be heard by me only. Can you say something now?" Zhuge cited Duke Wen of Jin, who famously endured a long period of exile before returning to his realm to be restored to power. Liu Qi knew what Zhuge was alluding to and began secretly plotting a way to leave the provincial capital. At this time, Liu Biao's love for Liu Cong grew deeply, so as a consequence the rift between the brothers deepened. Around the year 200, Liu Biao remained neutral despite being one of the only other warlords in a position to oppose either Yuan Shao or Cao Cao. This changed when he decided to shelter his relative of deep lineage, Liu Bei, from Tao, who had become his target ever since Liu Bei rebelled against him during the Battle of Guandu. The meddling Tai clan worsened the relations between the 2 Liu families, and as a result, Liu Biao's people faced much difficulty. In the year 208, Garning defected from Liu Biao's side over to Sun Jian. He then advised him to attack Jiangxia commandery as he saw Wang Rui as incompetent and old, plus he had not replenished his arsenal for some time. After a deadlock between the two forces, the great capital ships of Wang Rui's fell and he was eventually killed by Feng Zi. Following his death, Liu Qi volunteered to be the new administrator of Jiangxia. Sources differ on whether Liu Qi requested this appointment to escape the conflict or if he was forced out by the Tai family. Either way, he was tasked with leading a counterattack against Sun Jian, who had seized control of the commandery. Liu Biao also became seriously ill in the same year, so Liu Qi went to visit him, at a point where he had been sick for some time. Lady Tai's younger brother, Tai Mao, and Liu Biao's maternal nephew, Zhang Yun, were worried that Liu might change his mind in regards to the succession, so Liu Qi was denied entry to see him. Liu Biao died shortly afterwards, so Liu Cong became the new governor of Jing Province, compelling Liu Qi to treat his brother as an enemy from here on. Liu Qi apparently found out about his brother's succession when he received a seal of marquis from him. Infuriated, he threw it to the ground. He may have even attacked him if it was not for the arrival of Cao Cao, who began to march his troops south about a month after Liu Biao's passing. Initially, Liu Cong wanted to put up a resistance, but took advice to surrender the role of governorship over to Cao from 15 advisors, including Kuai Yue, Han Song, and Fu Zun. Fu Zun specifically dissuaded him from fighting back with military forces. Liu Cong's surrender over to Cao Cao forced the fleeing Liu Bei, who had just lost the Battle of Changban, to join up with Liu Qi during the lead-up to the Battle of Red Cliffs. When Liu Bei arrived, Liu Qi led his men to escort him back across the Han River to collect his scattered forces. Liu Cong was appointed as the inspector of Jing Province and given a marquis title. He was later promoted to a consular remonstrant. It's claimed that during the Battle of Qi Bi, Liu Qi commanded over 10,000 troops, although this figure may be exaggerated. It's more likely that his troop number was similar to Liu Bei's reconstituted forces, bearing in mind that Liu fled south with 10,000 followers, or Guan Yu's fleet, which consisted of a few hundred ships. The promise of 10,000 troops may have originally come about as leverage used to sway Sun Jian's decision to combine forces against Cao. After the alliance found victory, Liu Qi was appointed as the inspector of Jing Province, where he was finally able to succeed his father, although this was achieved in a roundabout way, and it wasn't the governorship title. Within a few months of his appointment, Liu Qi died at Jiangxia, but after his passing, Liu Qi's subordinates recommended Liu Bei for the position of governor. He then undertook the considerably higher rank of governor of Jing Province. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.